Hello students, how are you all? Guys, myself Jiten Singh Jitu sir, your English teacher. Today we are going to discuss about the explanation of the chapter. Second, we are not afraid if we are all together. It is the second part of this chapter. In the first part we have studied till now and hang on. Today we will start from water everywhere. I could feel that the ship had water below, but I dared not abandon the wheel to investigate. It means here the writer is telling us that the ship had water everywhere. The water has entered in the deck of the ship, but the writer had no courage to investigate that how much water is there in the ship. Suddenly the front hatch was thrown open and Mary appeared. "We are sinking," she screamed. After some time, his wife Mary came out of the front hitch and she called out in a loud voice that they were sinking because of large amount of water. The decks are smashed because the decks were destroyed by the strong wind. "We are full of water. Take the wheel," I shouted as I scrambled for the hitch. Larry and her were pumping like madmen. It means when Mary told him about the water everywhere, the writer said to his wife to catch the wheel, and Larry and Herb, these were the two crew members. They were pumping the water out of the ship. Broken timbers hung at crazy angles. The whole starboard side burst inward cloths, crockery, charts, tins, and toys sloshed about in deep water. It means everything in the ship has drowned in the water. I half swim, half crawl into the children's cabin. "Are you all right?" I asked. Then they answered yes from an upper bunk, but my head hurts a bit. I had a pain in my in my head, was told by Sue, pointing to a big bump over her eyes that was caused due to the dazed Angish the deck. I had no time to worry about bumped heads. After finding a hammer, screw, and canvas, I struggled back on deck with the starboard side burst open. We were taking water with each wave that broke over us. It means whenever any wave struck with the boat, some amount of water get into it. If I couldn't make some repairs, we would surely sink. So I'll have to do something to repair the ship. Somehow I managed to stretch canvas and secure waterproof hitch cover across the gaping holes. It means somehow the writer managed to stop the water coming in the ship. Some water continued to stream below, but most of it was now being deflected over the side. More problems arose when our hand pumps started to block up with the debris floating around the cabins and the electric pump short circuited. It means the electric pump that was being used to draw the water out of the ship, that was short circuited due to the water. The water level rose threateningly. Back on deck, I found that our two spare hand pumps had been wrenched overboard along with the forestay, the jib, the dinghies, and the main anchor. All these had destroyed or they were out of work, were not in the condition of doing work because of the water. Then I remembered we had another electric pump under the chart room floor. It means he had some water pumps, or we can say hand pumps, to draw the water out, but they were out of work. He remembered that he had a special hand pump that is in the chart room floor. So I connected it to an out pipe and was thankful to find that it worked. And it was not out of work, it was doing work. The night dragged on with an endless, bitterly cold routine of pumping, stretching, and working the radio. We were getting no replies to our midday calls, which was not surprising in this remote corner of the world. Their radio was not working properly, and so they were not able to send any message or get any message. Sue's head had swollen alarmingly. She had two enormous black eyes, and now she showed us a deep cut on her arm. When I asked why she hadn't made more of her injuries before this, she replied, I didn't want to bury you when you were trying to save us all. It means she was badly injured, but she did not want to tell about it to her father, so that they might get worried. She didn't want to di- uh, disclose this secret. By morning on January 3rd, the pumps had the water level sufficiently under control. It means on the day of 3rd January, it means after 24 hours, they were able to pump out the water, and it was now in the control. Rest in rotation. We took rest turn by turn, but we still had a tremendous leak somewhere below the waterline. And on checking, I found that nearly all the boats main reef frames were smashed down to the kneel. In fact, there was nothing holding up a whole section of the starboard hull except a few cupboard partitions. We had survived for 15 hours since the wave hit, but wave walker wouldn't hold together long enough for us to reach Australia. I checked our charts and calculated that there were two small islands a few hundred kilometers to the east. One of them, Isle Amsterdam, was a French scientific base. Our only hope was to reach these pine pricks in the vast ocean. But unless the wind and seas abated so we could hoist sail, our chances would be slim. Indeed, the great wave had put our auxiliaries engine out of action. It means here the writer is telling us that When the water level was in the control, he checked with the help of his chart and maps. They wanted to reach on some island. When he checked, there were two islands nearby. One was Amsterdam, so he decided to reach on this island very soon. But the extra engine that was in the spare, it was not working well, so they wanted to reach on this island very soon. Okay guys, in the next video we will get the next part of this chapter. Thank you guys.